How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's
Yeah,
snowing.
it's jacket
Yep.
weather.
I know
Yes.
sweaters. Yes. Good
Doug
morning,
Smith
Doug.
tuning in, broadcasting from the shores of the Ottawa River, where the ice is now 2.5 feet thick.
Whoa.
So, it's just getting thicker every day now. Not much snow, but it's very cold here. Very cold.
Well, coming into you from Drayton Valley, Alberta, Canada, Dr. Laurie Davis, your co-host, and snowing here for the next 2 to 3 days. But what I love about the snow in Alberta, it just comes down. There's no wind. There's no blizzard. It just
Nice.
falls. And then once it falls, it stays, of course. But we've had a terrific winter so far, not much snow. Going to get cold in a few days as well. But it's been above, it was 10 the other day.
Well, we've got the longest skating rink in the world here in Ottawa, and for the first time in 3 years, it's actually open. So,
Oh, wow.
because they've been pouring money into it, trying to get it open, but it hasn't been cold enough. And this year, we've already got a few weeks out of it, and it looks like another month or two as well. So hopefully we make up for lost ground here in Ottawa. We're really itching, and there's just millions and millions of people on it and coming into town to see it. If you haven't been, it's really cool experience.
Yeah, it is beautiful. So also too, there was something I was going to ask you about. Oh, yes. Do you ice fish on the river? I know you fish in the summer, but do you ice fish?
Yeah. I could show you a video right now of being out there with my 4-year-old grandson and 7-year-old grandson and my son-in-law, digging holes all the way from shore to get a few hundred yards offshore just to make sure that the ice was thick enough. You dig holes like a hole line or a tree line.
Yeah.
And then we were fishing out there and didn't catch anything that day, but the kids it's just priceless to see them. And when you have them out in that environment, to see how much respect they have, because you're working, right? You're shoveling, you're cutting holes, you're doing, and so the kids like really, really pay attention. They're not goofing around or fiddling around. They want to know how they can help. So it's just an incredible experience to take your kids and do stuff like this. We're fortunate here in Ottawa where we're along the Ottawa River, and just fortunate to be there on the water.
Beautiful, right? So our esteemed leader, Mr. Jay Stoyan, is with us today because he is on his way to British Columbia to the Invictus Games. And we're going to bring him in without a camera. He's traveling right now. So, Doug, shall we welcome Jay to the stage here, to the studio?
Come on in, Jay. You're going to the mountains. You're going to the mountains.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on today. Much appreciated. I love the conversation. Yeah, before I get started, I just want to add that we have our own little ice strip here, Lake Ontario, just right inside between Hamilton and Burlington on the Burlington Skyway Bridge. You can see all the Hamptonians skating on the little rink. So I wanted to bring that up like you, Doug, out in Ottawa. We're not quite Ottawa, but we have a little strip too.
And how is the ice, Jay? Is it good this year?
It was great. I was shocked, actually. This is the first time since I've lived in Burlington, and I go over to the Sky Bridge basically daily, like all the time. I'm always in Hamilton doing business. But this is the first time that I can recall seeing somebody skating on that strip right by the bridge. It was remarkable. And there was hundreds of people. Like, it was like, wow, this is really, it looked really cool, like really wintry, like really hockey, Canadian, the whole bit, right? It was great. So
you're going out to some winter fun in Whistler, BC. Like, you talk about, seeing numbers of people and crowds, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about the journey you're about to make with the Invictus Games. It's so exciting, and congratulations that TDC is involved in, in this historic event. It really is. Tell us about it, Jay.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Before I do, I want to congratulate Laurie on her new debut show. I know it's your show, but it's your new show for our dial. So we're so honored to sponsor it. And I have to commend you guys on this show. It's great. I know we're waiting for one of our superstars, Dave Stevens, who's going to be at the Super Bowl. next week. We're going to be having daily interviews in Media Row. So I'm sure he's actually probably prepping right now, or he might even be in travel getting ready for the big game. So, yeah, so the Disability Channel has started 225 out with a bang. So, again, I want to thank the Ontario government for our employment programs for persons with disabilities and veterans. We're starting our next cohort, I believe, on February 3rd or 4th. So, talking about February, yeah, the Disability Channel will be going out to British Columbia. We're going out actually this weekend, February 1st to the 3rd, as we have a TDC fundraiser at Legion number 8. So the Royal Canadian Legion, we have a wonderful fundraiser. We have a big support mechanism, courtesy Big Records and Hive Music. I think we have about 8 musicians. The mayor's going to show up. Silent auction, live feed. So that's on the Sunday matinee, 2 to 6.
Sunday,
so
Sunday, what Sunday with the what?
Sunday, 2 to 6 p.m. It's a matinee. There's a live feed link on our Facebook page that you can get, or I can send it to you. And here's the focus. So it's $10 at the door, $10 online. All the proceeds go towards our employment program pilot for British Columbia veterans. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be showcasing our programs out in BC. It's a wonderful opportunity to duplicate what we do here in Ontario for the veterans and persons with disabilities and able-bodied people out in BC. We never discriminate against anybody, whether you're disabled, non-disabled, girl, guy, black, white, whatever. We love you all. We'll take you all. So we're out there. I would love for people to support that if they could. Again, the link is on our Facebook page, and you can watch the event free. And you don't have to watch it during that time. For instance, if you're out, it'll record and you can watch it whenever you want. So, like I said, we hope to have the mayor of White Rock there. So that's what we're going to be doing from the 1st to the 3rd. I want to thank the Radisson Hotel as they comp the Disability Channel rooms. Yes, beautiful. Love that. We're going to be flying out on Porter, who's going to take good care of us. And then while we're doing that, we're going to be interacting with Dave at the Super Bowl, doing interviews. So we're through Pressbox. So hopefully Doug and Laurie you guys can jump in there too. But I know me and Dave will be doing probably daily interviews and daily shows.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's the 3rd. I come back on the 3rd. And then we're going to prep, and then I go back on the Friday, which is the 7th, and that's for the Invictus Games, as a Disability Channel is part of the media, part of the production, as we got drivers out there, and part of the entertainment with our songs. So it's going to be really exciting. We're going to be doing multiple interviews, capturing accessible footage, turning it into accessible footage. Maybe I'll be able to interview the Prince. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. I interviewed Scott Moore, who's the CEO. So the next step would be interviewing the Prince and all the athletes, of course. Right. So, so that's kind of exciting. What else? We have a couple of tours happening. We have a tour that's going to happen in Montreal, music tour. We're going to go down to Wisconsin. We've been getting a lot of love out of LA from the bands Nazareth and Sweet, which sings the legendary song Ballroom Blitz. So it's things are happening in 225, but like it's a you got to bang the doors every day. Because I was talking to somebody before, and with all this new news going on with the DEI and and accessibility, personally, I don't think there's one group of people that need to be helped more than the disability community. Like, I mean, we're disabled. Like, God bless all the other groups and all the platforms. They all need help too, but try missing a limb and getting through life,
Now tell us more about your schedule when you go out there. How long do the games run for? The games are... Yeah, the games are going to be going from, actually, the promo's already begun. We've been getting emails, setting up, you want to do interviews. So they're going to run from February 8th. February the 8th, okay. Next Friday, is that?
I think it's I think it's Saturday. I think it's Saturday.
Saturday night, the Invictus Games start. Mark it in your calendar, and then what happens?
Yes. Ceremonies are on the 8th, so the Disability Channel will be at the opening ceremonies doing all their media, right? And then they start the next day, and we're there for better part of the week, and we're going to be going to all different locations, hopefully up in Whistler. A lot of the games will be held in Vancouver, as we're located in Richmond, which is about 25 minutes from downtown Vancouver. So
they're holding a lot of the games in Vancouver.
As far as I know, right? As far as I know, but like I said, when I go out there, because the emails have been flying, like I must have received, I don't know, 25,000 Invictus emails. Like, it's great, right? So when I get out there, I'm going to get a better scope of the landscape, and we're going to go right to the media head office room and pick our spots and get our schedule down. And so it's going to be myself and a camera guy. But the good thing is, I have a lot of people already out in BC that are already on board. So we have a great crew.
Well, it's going to be like really fresh media. I mean, you know, you're going in there, you know, it's going to be fantastic. You know, you obviously feel you can handle any situation that you get thrown into. Isn't that a message for life, right? You feel you can handle anything. So you're going in there, you're ready to go. You got your microphone, you got your camera, you know.
Yeah, we're so ready to go. Like, I'm so like you said, it's been this is huge for our community, right? Like, to be on the world stage showcasing abilities with veterans. And it didn't come easy. Not that I got any roadblocks, right? They didn't give me any but it didn't come easy. Like, you gotta bang on those doors, and you gotta bang on those doors again, and then you gotta stay present. You gotta stay in their faces. You gotta email them. You gotta follow up. So it's been a lot of work, but it's a huge payoff, because what we want to do is take our programs on the world stage and then take our programs around the world, as we already have interest from New Guinea. New Guinea's interested in our programs. Obviously, the United States, which I should share something with you guys. So
scoops.
There's so many things that are coming to my mind as we speak here. So
it's unfortunate that I would want you to be just a little bit more excited, please.
Give us the scoops.
Yeah, give us the scoop.
So I think maybe it was 2018 or 2019 or something like that. I met a very distinguished veteran, U.S. veteran, who was working in the administration back then. Now, I think when I met him, his term was just ending. And he told me, Jay, if you connected with me last year, I would have been able to get your programs in the VA and maybe right across the United States. But my term is over, and there's too much, once your term's, you're out, and they move on. And so what happened is, this gentleman contacted me just prior to Christmas, as we've stayed in touch. I've actually interviewed him a few times on my show, right? So he just mentioned to me, Jay, I have been nominated to be the number 2 man in the current administration of the United States for the VA. He's number 2. Number 2. So once I get confirmed at the end of February, we're going to take a look at your programs, and I want to implement them into the United States, as long as, things go, no bumps and bruises and all that stuff. No guarantees, but so I got the ear of the second man in the VA, and so I invited him to the Invictus Games. And unfortunately, he said, Jay, I can't, because, I'm not confirmed, and, probably a good idea to, stay on the low down for a little bit, right? So I said, well, I wanted to invite you and the new president of the United States. And he goes, well, here's the number, give him a call. Here's the number, give him a call. So I called. I didn't get through as of yet, but
But you have the number.
Oh, you tried, huh? You dialed it. You dialed that number.
Oh my God. And I got the phone. We'll take a message and he'll get back to you. Now, he hasn't gotten back to me, but they said call back because he's a little busy.
No
they
kidding.
got a record of you now, Jay. They're tracking you now.
So, and I know a lot of people have their thoughts about 47, and I'm okay with that, but my whole focus is to get him to give me the thumbs up for our programs in the United States, and that's all we would need, right?
Mhm.
No left, no right. No, it's all about helping the next person, right? So if I can make that happen, maybe with that little bit of positivity, maybe we can make the world a better place.
Introducing Veteran House Alliance International monthly 50/50 raffle. Purchase your ticket today, link on display, and have a chance to win cash and help a great platform supporting veterans.
And
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Like explain to the listeners now about these programs, because you talk about the programs, but you don't really break it down.
Sure.
Please do that for our listeners.
Okay, so myself and my business partner, Alware, we have been creating employment. Well, Alware was creating them a long time before I entered the picture, but my platform gave the students a comfortable platform, a kind platform, a supportive platform where they could do their implementation and their work and get experience. So since about 2016, we've been creating employment programs in media, either in front of the camera or behind, so you can learn to be a talk show host like myself, or you can learn how to be a producer, an executive producer, an editor, a production assistant, an audio, social media, location manager. There's lots of jobs available, and that's what our programs teach. So they teach you how to basically shoot a piece of content and edit it to the finished product. That's the easiest way of telling people what we do. Is we teach you how to produce a piece of original content and edit it and showcase it to whoever you want as a professional piece of work, right? So that's sort of the gist and what we do. So I'll just go through a little bit over the programs, and the programs are free, by the way, because they're all for persons with disabilities or veterans, and either the VA covers the cost or what used to be called ODSP, which is the Ontario Disability Support Program, which is now going through an update. So it's covered by them. So for instance, what you would do, if you can find our programs online or on our website, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. We have it all there. You can read through it. And then what you would do is, I'll take you through a scenario. So then you would, oh, okay, I find that interesting. I'm going to give Jay a call or the channel a call. So they call me, and what I would do is talk to them a little bit, and then I would forward them to our liaison officers, either Ali Turcott or Stephanie Sabrin, and they would take them through the vetting process, just to, make sure they qualify, make sure we get all the needs that they want, answer all their questions. And if they qualify, they learn a new skill for 20 weeks, and I'll go through the process, and you get a stipend at the same time.
And so they're getting supported through their education then.
You're learning a new skill, and you're getting paid to learn a new skill. Like, that's a pretty good scenario. So you learn a new skill, you get out of your bedroom, because a lot of people who are disabled, they don't leave their bedroom, Doug.
Yes. Yes.
And it's remarkable. Unless you're disabled, and there's so many different variants of being disabled, some, like me, I have an internal disability, and I'm better and I get sick. I'm better, I get sick. Some people are always sick. So it's really a game changer. So the programs run 3 days a week, okay, either online or in person, 3 hours a day, or 4 hours. 4 hours a day. So usually from 10 to 2. And so let's just say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So on the Tuesday, you get your assignment. So the teacher, and there's usually about 20 people in the class. Most of them are online because of mobility issues, or now with, back in the day, with a couple of years ago with COVID and all that, right? So I didn't want to get people sick. So you go online, and Tuesdays you learn what your assignment is. Wednesday, you prep it with the teacher. And on Thursday, you implement it. Now, this may take a couple weeks. You know what I mean? You might not get a new project every week, but that's that's the scenario of how it goes. So on the Thursday, whatever Thursday that might be, you have a finished product of original content or whatever you're working on, because we also do other aspects like accessibility, PDFs. So whatever the project is, by the Thursday of whatever week it's due, you'll have something, and then you write a final project, and then you get a certificate from the Disability Channel and the Ontario government, and we place you. We have an 85% job placement since we've started the programs, either part-time or full-time. And this is what I like. We're very innovative because a lot of our graduates cannot do full-time work. They just don't have the capability. They don't have the energy. They don't have the gusto.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of companies say, I can't hire somebody for 40 hours, but I can hire somebody for 20 or 15. Works out perfect. Or we say, okay, they say, oh, I need somebody for 40 hours. So we say, would you take 2 people at 20 hours? They got the same skills. And they went, oh, that's pretty innovative. So 2 people do 1 job. Yeah. Okay. Like, they love it.
Now, are you able to? Is there any talent from the programs coming out to the Invictus Games this year?
Yeah, so we have our graduates. So the Invictus Games told me this. So they said, Jerry, we know you're a training program. Like, we get that. We love it. 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 However, the Invictus Games is not a training event. It's a professional event. So we need your professionals. So we need your graduates who have, experience, who've done this before, live events. So we have some of our past graduates that are going to be coming out with me. We have our team in BC, and then we have our current classes back in Toronto, where we're going to be sending the footage so they can edit on the fly. It's a perfect fit. It's a perfect fit.
So everybody's preparing for this.
Everybody's rest. We had a meeting today, so we're all set. Yeah, we're all ready to go. We're in constant contact with the Invictus people. So we have 2 teams, team out there, team there. But let me just say one thing. We're getting back to the programs, and this is another important point that I've noticed, that when a company hires a disabled person or a veteran for their office, it changes the atmosphere of the office for the better.
Yes, I would agree with you 1,000%. Culture is the biggest competitive advantage, and the positive impact to the culture of an organization is palpable.
It is. I can go on and on. Like, when you see somebody in your office, like, for instance, like I said, myself, I have an illness, right? But there's a lot of people that have they're a lot more severe illness than me, let's just say, right? So, like, for instance, we go into the office and I see all my staff and they're all disabled, right? And they're all working away and they're happy and they're smiling and they're interacting and they're talking. And for an able-bodied person or whoever, if you're having a bad day, and you look around the office and you see, people that are, maybe missing an arm or maybe missing a leg, and they're laughing and chuckling away and doing their work. It kind of like, hey, you know what? Maybe my day's not so bad. You know?
It does. It improves. It improves everything. Like, there isn't anything it doesn't improve. It's a positive reaction when you have people that have a disability in the workforce, working alongside of you, respecting the limitations that a person might have, and not trying to hide it, right? It's got to be out front. People got to be aware of it. If you hide that stuff, people will sniff it out, right? And it'll bring them down.
And the veteran angle is just like, it's just exploded to support the persons with disability platforms. Like, the veterans has really put Invictus Games, right? It's put a huge spotlight on our programs. And another thing that I'll share with you guys is, for my community, the disabled people, generally, you're kind of disabled your whole life. Like, you're disabled from birth. Not everybody, I know, but a lot of people, right? You're disabled from birth, so you don't know any different. Right? Like me, I've been disabled since I was a baby. Right? I don't know any different. For a veteran, they're like Superman until they're not. Right? Mm-hmm. And it goes both ways. When I have a veteran who sees a person with a disability their whole life, they kind of gravitate to them. And when you see a person with disability see a veteran, they kind of gravitate to them, right? It kind of helps each other. And like I said, I think I mentioned this before, but a veteran told me personally, Jay, the reason I believe you can relate to a veteran who's now going through a tough time is because you have gone through a tough time your whole life. And you can relate. And I said, I never really thought of that, but maybe that's true. Maybe I can relate to somebody like that, right? So,
and so is there a growing need, a growing hunger for the programs then for veterans? If veterans are listening to this or they're picking up this show at all, you help them get enrolled. You make sure that they've got all their T's crossed and I's dotted with respect to support from Veterans Affairs, etc.
We're knee deep. Every veteran that we've been in contact with either wants to enroll in our programs, or they applaud our programs, or they ask more information. Like I don't think I met anybody who doesn't like our programs. But sometimes I get in a little bit of trouble because
I can't believe it's
there's an understatement.
I'm a little aggressive, right? No. And I'm very passionate. I'm very straightforward. I'm black and white, and I get a little flack because I try and say that if any community or any group of people need help the most, it's the disabled people. Disabled people need help more than, I don't know, like any other group. Now that's my opinion. And I get yelled at sometimes about that because I guess they're fighting for their own community, right? But I mean, I don't know, like, okay, you're black, you're Asian, you're a lady, or you're a kid, you're a senior, but you're not disabled. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
They don't know what it's like. It's like, works like this. You can't explain to somebody what it's like to have a spinal cord injury, I know this, unless they've had one. And you can't explain to people what it's like to have kids unless they've had them, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to change their perception of the situation. It's impossible because there's nothing else for them to relate to but their experience, which is bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, and I still feel like we still get placated to, right? Like our community is still last in line. We're still last in line, I feel.
Well, it's still a competitive corporate world out there where the objective of any manager still, and this is changing, it's going to take another couple of decades, but the success to a manager is being able to stand about 6 inches higher than you and see maybe, another 50 yards further down the road than you, like from up above your head. That's the whole objective, right, of the workforce. So it's not really designed to recognize people with disabilities, even though they might have abilities that are stronger than somebody else in another place. Yeah. And that's just been my experience having, been severely disabled. And
it's a competitive workforce, right? Like really, it's a competitive workforce and you got to get the job done. And so I understand, but I just think hopefully we're breaking that barrier down because the disability community loves to work.
Technology is the biggest, like you're delivering technology to people to multiply their capability. Imagine for a second if you had the best prompter in the world. Prompting is the language that artificial intelligence uses. They could speak it into a computer. They don't need their arms and their legs to be able to do this stuff.
But that's been around for years.
But the multiplication of production because of artificial intelligence today, like technology, exactly what you're doing, gives them such a radical competitive advantage. So like I encourage anybody who's experiencing like veterans to get in there and learn this technology for your own well-being. And it'll freak out your kids too if you're You know, like they'll go, wow, look at what that's learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, so that's what's going on. So basically, the Invictus Games. Actually, I'm gonna have something too, and you guys might want to be a part of this. So I'm gonna have my first speaker's corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm gonna have
cool.
my first speaker's corner, and it's gonna be it's a health and corporate challenge to all CEOs. So what I want to do is I'm going to go on and do a speaker's corner, and we already have our team. We have about a list of 200 of the top CEOs and corporations and health experts from around North America. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up as a little bit of a bio and tell whoever tunes in on how I have changed my negative into a positive, meaning my illness, right? And then I'm gonna open it up to the CEOs and ask them, how have you changed your community? And if you haven't, here's a great platform where you can start and we can support you.
Good idea. That's a great idea, Jay.
Right? Because I want to talk to, because I've been in touch with the NIH, which is the biggest health institute in the United States. And the reason I'm talking to them right now is regarding my illness, familial Mediterranean fever, how I believe I'm the only one on record that has my illness that is an able-bodied function person.
Wow.
Nobody that I know that has my illness has a job, is able to work.
Huh.
And how? Because I found a way to combat my illness and keep it at bay for the most part. I still get sick, but I can keep it at bay. Like the things I do, like I sleep on the floor. I sleep on a wood floor. Right? I have to, because I cannot, my back. I stretch 45 to 50 times a day. And each session's about 2 minutes.
We welcome you to advertise and promote your goods and services, and or brand your logo to 34 million subscribers on Canada Talks 167. Your investment will go towards our employment programs in the media industry for persons with disabilities and veterans.
My stretching sessions. Hey, Dave!
Good afternoon. Sorry.
All right.
Oh, hey, Dave. Good to see you. Doug Smith here.
Laurie Davis, welcome.
Thanks. Sorry. Yeah, the dealer ran long on my auto, and I tried to log on, and cell phones are not good, so I just busted to get home. So much.
Oh, that's great, buddy. So, how's the busiest man in the sporting world?
It's been crazy as we started. We've really started to line up some really awesome guests. I'm getting email besieged. I've never been so besieged before at a Super Bowl for guests. It's like now we have to turn them down. It's almost like, and Doug, I'm sure with your experiences, if you make them a priority, how do you tell those people that you don't really want to interview that, hey, you're not going to make it? So it's, there's some great. I should confirm today. Yeah, and I should confirm today if Brett Favre is, I think, maybe our first guest Monday coming out of the gate. So that would be a real
wow.
But so I'm really excited to be there to represent. As you can see over my shoulder, the Disability Channel goes on the road today, and we've got things lined up for the Monday with the opening night with both teams. And now that the league is so helpful to us, and I'm taking a group of 24 people that are veterans, people with disabilities, some of my former students, and we've created this big network where we're going to go out and give people different kind of content. There's a wheelchair flag football game that starts off I think Monday. Yay. So we're going to be covering that. I have one of the players, his mother, Hopkins' mother, is going to join us. She's blind, so she's going to talk about her story and raising a son, her being blind and his successes. He was really good with the Houston Texans, and now he's on the Chiefs.
I was going to say Hopkins for Texans. Yeah, I was going to say he played for the Texans. Yeah.
And Dave, this is all happening at the main field. Is it all happening?
It'll all be this is going to be the most unique Super Bowl I've ever been a part of, because everything the media center and all of the press conferences and the team hotels. One is 7 blocks away, one is 4 blocks away. So everything is centralized in downtown New Orleans at the convention center. So it makes it real easier than dealing with parking. And, when you're in a wheelchair like me and you're trying to schlep all over the place and deal with crowds and stuff, it's nice to just have it in a certain area. And I know, Doug, you've had to deal with those situations in the past. Carpet is not our friend for those of us in wheelchairs. The hotel says, "Oh, I put you in a much nicer room, and it's all the way at the end of the hall." I'd rather take the sloppy one, that's right around the corner. But we'll be live.
Good for the pipes, though.
Yeah. And we'll be live all week, with all these guests. We just booked Andrew Zimmern from the Food Channel. He's a famous chef.
Hey, Dave, can we put your link? Can we put your link on our Facebook page since you're going to go live all week?
Yeah, maybe Laurie can put it up now.
I can put it up now if you like.
If you guys, and we can talk offline like we used to do, Jay. If somebody knows how to access your Facebook page and let me administer it, I can drop that to your shows. I should be able to drop them to everybody's shows or whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna connect you with Kathy, and she's gonna make you administrator, and you can just go wild.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna remove myself while you guys talk, Dave. I'll talk to you next week. I've already talked for 40 minutes, so I'm gonna let you guys talk to Dave and ask him anything.
Oh, I was going to start interviewing Doug. I had all kinds of hockey questions to ask him about his career.
Okay, guys, have a good one. We'll talk later. Thanks for having me on today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay. Keep going with the Invictus Games, man. That's awesome. What a story, the Invictus Games, and what's been put together. I've been, sort of beside Jay and alongside of Jay for the last year and a bit, watching all this happen. It's absolutely phenomenal. But being at the Super Bowl is different. Is a different level. I can't imagine.
I can't believe this will be my 29th Super Bowl. And I know my age changes every year. So this is Super Bowl 59. I just turned 59. And I'm, I don't know if I want to retire if it's 30 for 60, but it has a nice round number to it. But I've been so blessed with my time at ESPN to be there for that. And then after I left ESPN to continue to be able to go to these things and have the leagues believe in you enough to give you credentials and give you access just like everybody else. And, the challenges that I have to deal with as far as, wheelchair and all those kind of things, explaining who I am, now I have a good reputation. I have a wheelchair face that people remember. But I have a lot of good connections from my days at ESPN and just all the other networks, guys that I work with like Mike Tirico at NBC and Rob Gronkowski, who I became friends over the years doing interviews and all those kind of things. And it really is, it goes by so fast. And when you're sitting at Radio Row from 7 a.m. till 4 or 5 and you've interviewed, like last year, I had an amazing day. But to me, and Doug and Dr. Laurie, you'll appreciate this. I got to interview Wayne Newton. And to me, to the demographics, anybody under 40, they're like, who? But for our generations, it was like having Elvis sit down. And it was funny because the people that saw the picture said Wayne looked younger than I did because of all the he's allowed to do. But you never know. You can see Lady Gaga. You can see, all these amazing stars. And to be able to be around them and their entourages, like I said, it was my dream as a kid to replace Howard Cosell. And at age 59, I'm still dabbling in it a little bit and also helping out our veterans and those with disabilities learn television. I think that's what I enjoy, seeing it through their eyes, when they're by a Mahomes and they're like, oh my God, and it's just like, yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's like they're just humans. I mean, Doug, you played with some of the biggest stars in the league, and I think they appreciate it when you treat them with dignity and like they're a regular person rather than holding them in awe. Unless I was around Gretzky, I think I would probably
Wayne's really low key. He's always standing behind somebody.
And is he going to be your president someday? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Prime Minister. Yeah.
Prime Minister. Sorry. Well, if you're a state, when you become a state, he'll be governor.
We could do a lot worse. We could do a lot worse. I'll just put it that way.
Well, I guess Mr. Trump has put the invitation out anyway.
Yeah, he seems to, and I know it's not a political show. It's just it's good
That's
to see,
all right.
it's good to see you guys have a sense of humor because we're not laughing on this side,
I know.
Okay, well, I appreciate
Uh,
that. Yeah.
and,
Now
and
tell me about the story, because our listeners, unlikely that they would know your story, and really, it's so phenomenal because you have a serious disability that we want to explain to people. Like that, this is off the charts. I mean, I've been a quadriplegic, and I've had to, but I had a spark to get it back. I doubt you're going to grow back what you've lost.
well, since we're not prepared visually, yeah, my story is, and people can't see because it's from the waist up, but I was born without legs in 1966 in Arizona. Strike one, strike two, put up for adoption right at birth. But I had a loving family that adopted me and instilled in me that I could be anything that I wanted to be. And so at a young age, I figured if all these guys at recess are playing sports, I'm going to start playing sports. So as difficult as it is to fathom, and you can Google me, I'm the only guy ever to play college football without legs. And that's from my days
wow.
at Augsburg University. And I ended up, having a tryout with the Dallas Cowboys. I was on a TV show called That's Incredible back in the day. And,
Yes.
and I also played college baseball at Augsburg University and ended up playing for the St. Paul Saints, which is the minor league team of the Minnesota Twins. I played for three weeks with them. I actually pinch hit for Darryl Strawberry in a minor league game after he'd hit 3 home runs. So my story is unbelievable because I did it before the internet. If I'd have done it in this day and age with social media, you would have had to pay me to be on this show, and I probably would have just said, "Oh, I'm a big star," because somebody would have done my life story, and there'd be books or whatever. But
I have a quick question just regarding the rules. Okay, like what qualifies you as being tackled? Because
that's why
you can't put your knee down. So
that's what since I couldn't really run with a football. The coaches thought, hey, could we push it that way? And in fact, they did set up a couple of plays where I was a tight end, and once I caught the ball, the referees would count me as down because I'm on the ground or whatever. But
that's not fair.
Well, hey, but people say it wasn't fair that I had such a low strike zone because, again, with my butt on the ground, I had a really low strike zone, and I walked a lot, but I also hit the ball. But I became a defensive lineman, and that really seemed to be good because they didn't know how to block me, which would then free up the linebacker to come in and fill if they were too busy trying to deal with me or fall on top of me or whatever they would do. But wrestling, I also wrestled. I was a 2-time state champ, and that was probably my best sport because I knew what to do against you leggies, but you guys didn't know what to do against me.
I was just going to say that's the advantage is we don't know, right? We've never seen it before.
Yeah. And Doug, you'll appreciate this. It's been about 8 years now. I never really ever play adaptive sports. They didn't have it when I was a kid. And I was
so no sledge hockey?
No, but I was speaking in an area up in near Toronto. And this guy said, come get on our sled. And I started playing. I just started skating. And have you done sledge hockey?
Yeah, I played on the local, the sledge hockey team here in Ottawa. After I recovered and learned to walk, I went back.
Okay.
And then I tried playing, but I had feeling in my legs, so it hurt.
Yeah, I loved it. And it was weird because I always thought I had to be playing able-bodied sports to be an equal. And when I started skating with those sticks, and for your listeners that don't know, they're basically hockey sticks cut in half with spikes on the end, and you pump yourself with those. Okay. And when I got on that sled and I started skating and the freedom I felt, and I felt normal, and tears are streaming down my eyes, and I'm skating and I'm moving around, and I slide up back to the coach, and he goes, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 50." And he goes, "Well, you're like a legless LeBron James. You're a natural." So then I started playing sled hockey, had an opportunity to work out with the U.S. Olympic team and do some stuff with them. And I don't get to play enough now, but it really helped me to understand, Doug. I'm sure there are people out there that said, if Gretzky's so good, why isn't he skating 10 or 15 minutes a period? They don't realize what you guys with legs or the sled guys, it's an intense minute and a half, and you are flying around. And if suddenly somebody's off sides and they pull, and you're out there even longer while they're about to try to get in a penalty position, but it also helps you to understand the offense. And so I have really learned to love hockey a lot more, even though I covered it a little bit, but I've never embraced it until I actually played it. And that's why I say, everyone should have an open mind when it comes to able-bodied and disabled-bodied sports. And I almost had a prejudice, and I feel like almost guilty until I tried it. And now I'm such a proponent and an advocate for anybody with a disability to get there and do your best.
It's almost an ego thing, and it's brilliant hearing you in the situation you're in talk about suffering from the same thing. A lot of other competitive athletes that are naturally gifted athletes that can pick up a tennis racket right now and do whatever you want to do, or throw the lacrosse ball or throw the football. It becomes an ego thing, really. And it's phenomenal to hear that coming from you, that you had to realize that was the case, to take your game to the next level, right? To take it to the next level psychologically.
And I feel it actually helped me to grow as a person going, I'm almost like, I was like that little Chihuahua that wants to fight the Saint Bernard. Like you think, oh, that's beneath me. And then you get out there and you realize these guys are better athletes with what they have and their limitations than the guys that are actually skating, to try to figure moving a sled and moving it and dealing with all those different kind of things. Or, the Paralympians that run on blades, or all these things. I mean, it's so awesome. And it really opened my eyes to, I don't want to say it was a prejudice, but it was just like, look, I always pretended I was able-bodied. So I don't do these non-able-bodied sports. And it was just like, wow, I wish I could have been doing this 20, 30 years ago.
Oh yeah. Like a bias.
But it gives you access, right? I mean, now you have access to all the kids that all the professional athletes have that have some type of mobility disability or psychological disability, so that all of a sudden the world must be opening up to you. It must be just saying,
now I'm teaching, Dave. I've taught sled hockey at a couple of camps, and I was actually had the opportunity to work with one of the Olympians at that camp as well. And again, seeing it through their eyes the first time they're on the ice, and them seeing them doing something that they're not supposed to do, or that they never were, because that was always what people told me. You can't play sports, you can't compete, you can't do it this way. And then years later you found out I was good enough to beat out those players. What those conversations with the coaches to the parents of the able-bodied guys, when they said, there's a guy without legs beating my kid out for football or baseball or whatever, and they're like, yeah, your kid sucks. This kid is better without legs than your kid with legs. So,
right.
But
the Disability Channel would like to thank our existing sponsors. We really appreciate the support and kindness from the BIAs across the GTA, Ontario, Canada, and our friends in the USA. We love making new friends. Thank you for supporting our existing employment programs.
You can learn and you can evolve. And I think that's what I continue to do as an advocate for the disabled community, to be able to tell my story when I do or involve it in interviews, and pay homage to the teachers and the coaches that believed in me and let me just kind of figure my way out. And my coaches, they would work away from practice, tying their legs behind one of the coach's back so he could figure out the moves that they could teach me to my advantage in wrestling.
Wow.
And it's like, there were no books how to play sports for dummies with no legs. So it's like, I just had to figure out how to jump and catch a ball with one arm and leap up, and how to hit, and, how to be able to run and do all those kind of things. And I'm blessed, Doug and Dr. Davis. I'm so blessed because I didn't lose a limb. Doug, you were skating and you were in the prime of your career, and you had something, you can be born Japanese, you can be born Hispanic, but you can become disabled at any time,
Absolutely.
And that's what the problem is. We don't want you in our club, but we embrace you. And the problem with calling somebody handicapped or disabled is you're lumping us all together when we all have diverse disabilities. It could be our sight, it could be ADHD, it could be seen, it could be unseen,
Right.
And they just lump us all together, and just they expect us to just, we're the biggest minority in the world, and we have the smallest voice. So it's great that you guys put together. It's great what Jay is doing with the Disability Channel. And that's why I really try to help the channel when I can, to get that connection to these guys so they can see that at first I'm that elephant in that room, but if I can break that ice and that stigma, they're getting down with me on my butt. I'm getting interviews that others don't, because I use my sex. Sex sells. So, hey,
that's right. That's right.
And,
are you going to be on the? Are you going to be down on the sidelines? Is there a place that a TV station, a streaming service? Like, how can people plug in to you, Dave, to Dave Stevens, to be able to see who you're talking to when you're doing stuff? What's your strategy here?
Well, we are on something called Your Home TV on Roku, which is a streaming service. But everything that we do is on social media, so that they can either watch Dave Stevens Speaks on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube channel, or the actual show is called the Geary, Stein, and Stevens Show. But I would love for people to follow me, because I'm always tagging the Disability Channel. I'm always, wanting people to see the things that I do. I do shtick, I do humor, I draw attention to the obvious. And again, I make fun of myself, which might put people off, but it's like, I've lived a Forrest Gump life, so it's like, if you've seen the movie Forrest Gump, he did all these crazy, unbelievable things. And that's my life in a nutshell. But it wasn't like I'm living in the past. I get to continue to evolve and do these things, like at the Super Bowl, where we will be, and I, I'll be just as equal as Fox and NBC and all those guys. And because of my reputation, it helps us to continue to be able to succeed and get the Disability Channel into these places where they might not normally get. And I just wish people would donate and help the Disability Channel grow more, because of what Jay's trying to do with getting jobs for veterans and all of the insight for people with disabilities, and the people that are the production staff behind the scenes here at the Disability Channel, and giving people like you guys a voice and a platform to just talk and open up people's eyes and let them hear these stories. My story, I'm not a hero. I'm not an inspiration. I'm just a dude that loved to play sports and utilized it. You guys have had on much bigger guests that make more of an impact. Doug, yourself, you've overcome so much.
For somebody who suffered a disabling injury, your story to me is captivating. Anybody who has a disability and has been told they have a disability, I'm sure you'd be fine with them comparing it to your disability.
Well, that's
what I mean? So like you take it just to another level, Dave. Like, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Laura,
I would appreciate it, Dave, if we could have you back when you get back from the game.
Yeah.
And have you on the show again.
Yeah, or maybe we could try to do something from the Super Bowl next week as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got an opening, you let us know, right? We'll make it happen.
Yeah, I'll make myself available too.
Well, yeah, we'll work on that, and I appreciate the time, because
no pressure though. You got a lot on your plate, man.
Yeah.
No, we'll be
but
able
if you have a little
fun.
blank space and you want to text me, and I can pop in anytime, because I'm all camera ready all the time.
Okay, that works out. No, it's like with Doug's situation, again, what you've overcome working to get back to somewhat of a normal life. I didn't lose anything, and I always say, if people are going to stare at me, I might as well give them a show. Because if they can see that I am able to do things, if I've done these things without legs in life, what the heck is their excuse?
Why
aren't they going out?
You can say, what's your problem?
Why aren't they going out and utilizing 2 arms and 2 legs and those kind of things? So,
this is amazing, man. Like, really, like, it's been fantastic, and have a great time. Soak it up, man. You never know, right? So just,
I have a little personal thing to say, Doug, if I may.
Yeah, please.
Okay, there's four kids in my family. I grew up with 4 kids, and I have a sister who contracted polio during the epidemic in the 50s in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I'm quite sure this is accurate. She's the only one of the 4 of us who ever brought home an athletic award.
Wow.
And
that's why we're a team.
Right? I can hardly walk down the steps out front without falling over. That's how non-athletic I am, but I have so much appreciation for everybody that I meet over the years. I've done a lot of stuff too, but I've always considered myself sometimes to be emotionally disabled. That's why I've been married 3 times. Okay, just saying.
Yeah, a lot of my friends think I have some mental issues too, but
Oh no.
Well, they're sure I do. So
Yeah, well, we all know Doug does. Okay.
Doug and I had our heads hit and bells rung so many times from football and
Oh,
hockey. I'm
concussions.
sure.
Well, you know
Oh,
what
yeah.
we do? You know what we do, Dave? We jump out of the plane and then we go, shit, did I put a parachute on? Or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's sort of my life. So
Yeah.
keep doing what you're doing, man. It's just an
Thanks.
honor to spend time with you. We'll
Yeah,
do
it
it
is an
again
honor.
after it's over, and or maybe if
Absolutely.
you have a window, okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet you guys in person and
Yeah.
get up there and do some stuff up there. So,
Okay, man.
Beautiful.
Listen, have a great day.
thanks for your time, guys.
Get
Best
your
of luck.
rest. Okay.
All right.
See you
Bye-bye.
later.
Our guest today, the beautiful Dave Stevens. We need to talk to Dave more. He's been on my list. Well, since I joined the Disability Channel, I've known about him.
This guy's
I've known
a superstar.
about him.
This guy is a mega superstar. You know,
Wow.
you could take the pictures of what he's accomplished, and when he's done with his NFL football thing, just get him on the road, and he'll just, it's amazing. I can't wait to see him live and be able to just spend time with a guy, just be in his presence. So it's amazing.
I know. That's amazing. And he's on our team with the Disability Channel.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We have so many incredible people, and that's why I told Jay when I wanted to kind of do my solo shows, I don't want to disconnect myself from the Disability Channel ever, because they do incredible work, and they're the reason you and I are here.
Yes. So check out the Disability Channel, everybody, and we'll be on next Thursday with Coach Mickey, I think, is going to join us.
Yes, Coach Mickey, yes.
Yeah, so you don't want to miss Coach Mickey.
Coach.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this. Just a firecracker. So that'll be amazing. Laurie, thanks so much again for a great show today, and it was good to catch up with Jay and the Invictus Games. So we'll be talking more about that in the next few weeks.
You betcha. Okay.
Have a great one.
And they're back to back, like the Invictus Games and
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like woo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sports desk time. Yeah, see you later. Have a great day.
To the north I travel, step by step, that road unravels, right then left, and I'm finally on my own. Speaking tongues I babble, words unravel, despite my thoughts being full of rebel. I'm finally on my own. Still my words I gather, collect what matters, hope it works and my brain won't scatter. As I drove I thought that I had her, friends and times where I was flattered. I'm finally on my own. Twists and turns, the road kept going sideways, crossing the lines of 1,000 highways.